We have a lot to cover in this video, so let's jump right into it. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 ways to make more money using the Uber driver app. Number 1, opportunities. So when you pull up the left side dashboard, you can click opportunities, and on here, you're going to see a couple different things. One are overall promotions. So they may say, hey, if you're driving during this period of time, you have a 1.1x surge, 1.2x surge, whatever the case is. What this means is when you're driving during that period of time, you're gonna make more money. The second thing when it comes to promotions is it's also gonna show you different maybe quests or different things where they say, hey, do 50 rides this week, get an extra 50 bucks. I don't know. Just making that up. These are different ways, though, to kind of drive the exact same as you're doing, but now that you know that these different promotions are in place, you can make more money. Another thing under the opportunities tab is events. When I did my Uber's driver's tip and my Lyft driver's tip series, which I've done a bunch of videos about, I don't know how many I'm up to right now, maybe like 40 something different pro tips. My first one right away was events. This wasn't by accident. The reason why is, let's say on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Can you make a lot of money? I mean, I guess it depends, but not really, let's be honest. Typically on a typical Wednesday. However, if let's say there's a big basketball game, a big concert, a big event, whatever it is, you know the surges are going to be outrageous. And on this opportunities tab, and it's kind of cool the way Uber blends this, not only can you see, of course, the promotions that are going on, but all the events. You could see, wow, Wednesday night at 9 p.m., there's actually a hockey game going on. It gets out, I don't know, around 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m., whatever. That is going to be an optimal time to drive, especially when it comes to events. Those are the best way to make peak hour money in non-peak hours. Number 2, the destination filter. So when it comes to using the destination filter, and this is a great pro tip I learned from my brother who's driving right now in Denver. A lot of drivers do it when you're going home, right? You're like, all right, well, I'm kind of done for the day. I might as well put my destination as my home. That way, if I pick somebody up on the way, it's kind of like getting paid to just drive back home, which I have to do anyway. Don't do that. Here's the reason why. When it comes to a lot of cities, and every driver knows in your own city, you have certain surge pockets, certain areas that you can make the most amount of money driving in that given area. And so one huge pro tip is to put your destination filter as that area. So let's say here in LA, it could be, let's say, the heart of West Hollywood on a Friday night. If let's say you're in Boston, it could be South Station, just using a couple different examples. That way, let's say you drop somebody off and you really want to get a good solid ride. Not only is that destination filter going to bring you into that surge pocket, which you might get a surge from already, but then now you're already in that surge pocket, so you can get another ride going out. So it's almost like a double whammy, driving someone to the surge pocket and then driving them away from it. It's a way to make a lot more money. Don't use a destination filter to go home. Use it to optimize for higher surges. Number 3, Uber Pro. Now, this is the former accountant in me. Remember, the goal isn't necessarily to make more money, it's to have more money. And yeah, maybe on Uber Pro, depending on your level, it might not give you an extra bonus or an extra incentive. However, there are a ton of perks, bonuses, discounts, etc., that can save you money. So yeah, like I said, maybe you might not get an extra $100, for example, using Uber Pro, but what it might do is save you $100. Let's say if you're driving a lot and you need maintenance on your car, if you want to save more money on gas, etc. In this sense, like I said, when it comes to the bottom line, accounting-wise, you might have an extra $100 plus, depending on what you're doing. You may have an extra $100 plus in your pocket because of all the discounts, coupons, whatever, that do exist within Uber Pro. Don't sleep on it, because when it comes to Uber Pro, all the kind of perks you get are directly related to driving. This can save you a lot of money, which in turn puts more money in your wallet. Number 4, the recommended tab. So when you pull up the bottom of the Uber driver app, you're gonna see a recommended section. And this is kind of like an overview of different alerts, opportunities, things going on, etc. This is super useful. I used to never look at this, being honest, but the more I did, the more I'm like, you know what? This is actually exactly what I want to see at this moment. The reason why I like the recommended section is it takes all these different elements from the Uber driver app and puts them in one place that you can quickly look at. If, let's say, there's a huge sports game going on, as opposed to, let's say, you having to go to the opportunities tab and find it while scrolling, you can just find it right on the recommended tab. It will also show you different bonuses, perks, things that are going on. And again, what I like about this is look at this as like a quick one-stop shop to look at all these different mini alerts that are very unique and also very relevant to you driving. And this is a quick way, like say if you're driving around and just want to look at it, it's a quick way to see, okay, how can I make the most amount of money right now? Because it shows you all these different things going on. Number 5, ride preferences. This is a huge pro tip, and in case you didn't know, super easy to do. On the bottom left-hand corner of the app, when you click it, you can select what rides you want to do and what rides you don't want to do. So for example, if you want to do only Uber X rides, you can have that. If you don't want to do Uber X Share, or formerly Uber Pool, if like say you only want to do Uber Eats, or you don't want to do any deliveries at all, this is an easy way to do that. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up as a huge pro tip is when I talk to a lot of Uber Eats drivers, for me, I gotta be honest, I hated trying Uber Eats. I just don't like it. However, I know a lot of drivers who do. However, when it comes to the times, the peak times to do Uber Eats are a bit different than the peak times to do Uber. So to use an example of how to make more money using this, let's say you wanna have a crazy Friday where you just go all out and make a ton of money. Well, go on that preferences section, deselect everything except Uber X rides. Start, like say, at 7 a.m. So you drive from, like say, 7 a.m. to then about 10:30 a.m. only doing Uber rides. Then go to that preferences tab, turn off Uber, turn on Uber Eats or food deliveries. Because remember, for a lot of Uber Eats drivers, and they've told me this, you actually make a good amount of money, if not more money, from 11 a.m. or let's say 10:30 a.m. till about 2-ish p.m. rather than at night. And especially if you look at both, it depends upon the city. In some cases, it might be more at night for Uber Eats. In some cases, and I'd say for most of them, you're gonna make more money driving for Uber. So you do Uber from like say 7 to 10:30 a.m., then switch off Uber, turn on Uber Eats. Say do Uber Eats from 10:30 a.m. to about 2. Maybe go back home, take a few hour break, just kind of relax. Then start driving specifically for Uber from like say 5 to like say 7 p.m. Then you have the pregame hours, as I like to call it, from like say 7 p.m. to about 10 p.m. And then you go from 10 p.m. in terms of the night shift, so to speak, 10 p.m. to about 2-ish a.m. But this is something that you can kind of go back and forth. Who knows? Maybe in your area, you might make more money during the pregame hours. So like I said, I'd say about 7 to 9 p.m. on a Friday and Saturday night. However, maybe in your area, like say around 10 or 11 p.m., Uber Eats starts paying more. You can easily go back and forth. I will say this, and this is something I've just kind of found. I don't suggest doing both Uber and Uber Eats unless you like that. I feel like you're better off sticking with one. It's way easier to do it in that structure, in my opinion. And this is also good for testing. I've talked about this in a bunch of other videos. Depending on the city, some cities, just overall looking at an average, in some cities, Uber Eats pays more. In other cities, Uber Rides pays more. This is something you do want to test. And again, like I said, you can easily go back and forth. Uber Connect is another big option as well when it comes to doing deliveries for Uber. You never know. Maybe just as opposed to doing Uber Rides, Uber Eats rides, maybe Uber Connect pays more. And under the Preferences tab, you can deselect all of them and only select one of them. Go back and forth, figure out how you can make the most amount of money. And now a bonus tip, and that is referrals. When it comes to the Uber driver app, you can quickly and easily share your referral link. Do this, like say on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, text it to your friends. I will say as a pro tip, and I've done a couple of videos about how to make a lot of money doing referrals when it comes to Uber and Lyft as well, but specifically talking about Uber, I don't suggest doing the auto text. This is a big thing. I suggest customizing the text because a lot of times what Uber will do is they'll say, hey, make, I don't know, $500 as a sign-on bonus for driving in LA. But if you send that to one of your friends in Florida, they might be like, oh, well, I'm not in LA, so I know why this applies to me, even though, and they might not know this, that link works anywhere in the country, or I guess in this case, anywhere in the world to be more transparent. But overall, I do suggest when it comes to referral bonuses, they can be a lot of money. You know, throughout the years, I made a ton of money using Uber and sending out those referral bonuses in a lot of my videos. I will say, as a quick side note, they stopped giving me referral bonuses. I did do a video about this a few months ago. It is kind of weird. I guess I went to the Uber like driver headquarters or the green light hub, and they did tell me that you can only make maximum 10 referral bonuses and then you're cut off. I don't know why 10. It is kind of weird because why would you not want people to refer other people to drive for Uber? It is kind of weird. And I will say for me personally, I think I don't know how many people I referred, but maybe about 40 to 50. No, probably more than that. Maybe closer to 60. I'm not sure since I've done all these Uber and Lyft videos. But when it comes to Uber, I think it's a good amount of people I have referred. And at a certain point, they're just like, sorry, you're cut off. Honestly, I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but this is a good way to get some extra side cash. It does depend upon the area. But you can make, I'd say, either between $50 to $100, all the way up to sometimes even $800 or $900 just for a referral bonus. So don't sleep on this. It's a quick and easy way, especially like say if you're doing blog posts, if you're doing videos like mine, to get a little extra side cash for what you're doing already.